Fortnite Reload. Released by Epic Games in mid-2024, the mode would go on to gather critical acclaim throughout the entire community, keeping players hooked, with brand new content coming in all the time, bringing new loot pool updates, new maps, more and more often. However, for whatever reason, in recent times, the mode seems to have just dried up. Even though we're getting brand new maps, we're getting brand new loot pools, it just feels like it doesn't have the steam that it had in its first few months. So I want to explore why the mode feels like it's slowed down, what they can actually do to fix this, and what I think should actually be next for Fortnite Reload. Alright, so first off, I just want to address everybody. No, it's not dying. It's nowhere near dying. The mode's in like a really healthy state at the moment. I'm not going to ignore it. The mode definitely has a very dedicated fan base. And if I was to claim that it didn't, you know, that'd just be kind of disingenuous. I mean, it has one of the most consistent ranked player bases in the entire game. But the game itself, it definitely just feels like it doesn't have the same impact that it used to. Listen, I know that's going to happen with every single metaverse mode. Eventually, it's going to lose its steam. It's just going to become the mode. I mean, think about Blitz. Everybody thought Blitz was going to be a juggernaut, but then they ruined it. And now it's just kind of there. I mean, you look at OG. OG was going to be the Chapter 6 killer, you know. But now it's just another mod. And of course, Reload went through the same steps. It's kind of slowed down. It's become more accepted. It's not a novelty anymore. But in my opinion, this mode has a completely different set of circumstances to all those other mods. I think this mode is held down by 3 different issues. And the first of which is a lack of identity. I mean, as of recent times, Reload has just kind of felt like a mini battle royale, which of course is, you know, that's what it is. I'm not going to say it isn't. But I mean, it just used to have its own, like, identity. I mean, especially if you look at the most recent map, you know? I mean, it's literally just a small version of the Chapter 7 map. I just don't get it. I don't get why anybody would want to play on that map. I mean, we still have Chapter 7. I mean, it's not even like it's an older version of the Chapter 7 map. We're still in Season 1. I mean, a good portion of the POIs on this map are actually in Battle Royale at the moment. There is no reason anybody would want to play this map. And yes, this is a huge issue because Reload's entire appeal is the fact that it has locations from older maps. I mean, you look at Venture, you look at Oasis, you look at even Slurp Rush. You know, people don't really like Slurp Rush, but the draw to those maps was the fact that you could actually go back and play around on the old points of interest. I mean, like Oasis, it has Paradise Palms. I mean, it has its own bespoke version of Shifty Shafts, which is super cool. I mean, you look at Venture, obviously Venture, you know, it has Tilted Towers, it has Pleasant Park, it has Retail Row. You know, it has modified versions of Weeping Woods and Loot Lake. That is the appeal of a Reload map. Reload is a celebration of the game's history, and it should always stay that way. I mean, every single time Epic Games has tried to go modern in Fortnite Reload, the community has rejected it. I mean, you look at Squid Grounds, people hated it. You look at Surf Rush, people really don't like Surf Rush. I mean, even Slurp Rush, people really didn't like Slurp Rush, and I think that's because they went too modern. Yeah, I'm gonna say Chapter 2 is too modern for Fortnite Reload. Like, listen, I don't think anybody's going, Mummy, I want to hop on Reload. Oh my god, I can drop at Battlewood Boulevard. Oh my god, I can drop at a larger version of Sus Studios. Nobody's saying that, but you know what? I believe in full honesty that somebody out there said, oh my god, Tilted Towers is back. I need to hop on Reload now. Somebody would have said, oh my god, they've made Westworld into a large POI on the new Oasis map. I've got to drop there immediately. That is the whole gimmick of Reload, and they've been really straying away from it recently. I don't understand. At the end of the video, I'm definitely going to be talking about what I want to see out of a Reload update, but a Chapter 3 map would be perfect. I mean, Reload, they really want to do this. They keep dancing around it. They keep doing it, and then, ooh, no, they jump out at the last second. I mean, we had 2 separate, not corny crossroad POIs in Reloads and Blitz. You know, obviously, you had the one in Stranger Things. It was just kind of an extended version of corny crossroads, and then you had the fake one in the Squid Grounds map. I have no idea what that was about. I mean, they keep playing around with the idea of a Chapter 3 Reload map. They just need to commit to it. And it's clear that this works because it is currently in Blitz. You know, Blitz has its own Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 map. But seriously, a big part of Reload's current sluggishness is because the maps they've been releasing recently don't feel like Reload maps. All they need to do is actually, you know, like start stepping up. They need to start making maps that feel more like Reload maps. And it would fix like half of the issues Reload has. But also, I want to carry on with, you know, the whole identity issue. I think, honestly, Reload's biggest issue at the moment are the mythics, or therefore lack of. Listen, mythics are the heart and soul of the game. You know, that was the whole thing that Reload was built on. Yeah, sure, you had, you know, the fast-paced gameplay, you had, you know, the whole respawning mechanic, but what really made this mod fun was searching for mythics. I mean, tons of people made entire videos based around just looking for these things. I mean, my mind goes to somebody like HJ Dugan, who literally made like entire series just looking for these new additions to the game. But for some reason, it really feels like in recent time, I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but the chance to actually, you know, find one of these items just keeps getting whittled down further and further and further. I mean, seriously, while I was gathering the footage, you know, to put behind this video, and also I want to apologize for the atrocious gameplay, I had to learn incredibly quickly how to use keyboard and mouse, because the Xbox 360 controller I've been using for about 12 years, I'm gonna say. I mean, it just randomly died on me mid-match, so I want to see some of you down in the comments below saying rest in peace, controller. But no, I was gathering footage for this video, and I came across my first mythic in like years. Well, not years, that's over-exaggerating, but it felt like years. Is it really that hard to find a mythic anymore? I mean, you were finding one like every 3 matches in like, you know, the first 2 months of Reload. I mean, that was the whole reason the game felt so fast-paced. You know, somebody had the most broken item in the game. Everybody kind of like dogpiled on each other to try and get it from them. And obviously, you just have massive like 20 people fights all at once. It was mad. It was amazing. Seriously, the removal of mythics from this game is a big part of the reason why, you know, the gameplay loop feels so slow. I mean, I have had Battle Royale games that end faster than Reload matches purely because of how slow-paced Reload is now, especially builds. You know, everybody's just kind of camping in their own boxes. I'm gonna say this, I think the amount of mythics people are finding in each match needs to be buffed. I'd say keep it to this rate in rank. I think this kind of drop rate is definitely more balanced, you know, for like the ranked side of things. But in unranked, you gotta keep it fun and you gotta keep it fast-paced. And that is definitely one of the biggest issues I have with the game at the moment. It doesn't feel as fast-paced as it used to. It doesn't feel as fun as it used to. It does just kind of feel like they shoved that aspect of the mod onto Blitz, and they went and made Reload a little bit more boring. You know, Blitz is all well and good. You know, I have my fun with Blitz. I play it every now and again, but I want to play with these items against actual players. Blitz is fun, but like, when you're shooting somebody with like the rarest mythic in the game, it doesn't feel as exciting when they don't even shoot back. You know, they're all robots. I mean, it just kind of makes you feel like, you know, like Metro Man and Mega Man, you're just kind of walking around, like, shooting everybody, you're the best, you're never going to lose against anybody. Mythics and fun items like that were what made Reload fun, and I definitely think the loot pool needs a bit of a rejuvenation. However, it isn't all bad. I'm going to give Reload a little bit of credit, but they have been ramping up the updates recently. I mean, especially the addition of the Morphite weapons. Those are so good. I pick those up every single time I see them. Every single time. I don't even care if I've got a mythic. These things are so fun to use. I mean, they fit the gameplay loop of Reload perfectly. You know, you can shoot tons of people. You can actually level the gun up. You know, everybody's respawning in, so you actually have the damage so you can actually upgrade your items. You know, that was definitely a big issue with the Evil Chrome weapons all the way back in, I don't know, Chapter 3, Season 4? But I mean, the biggest issue with those Evil Chrome weapons was the fact that you just had to like search for players to shoot, or else it just wasn't going to be useful. This kind of weapon suits Reload perfectly, and I cannot believe they didn't even think of doing this before. You are never going to run out of people to shoot. I mean, the AK is incredible. The AK is literally my favorite item in Fortnite Reload history. Seriously, some of these Morphite weapons, they feel incredible just on their own. They don't even need to upgrade to be good weapons. I mean, I want to say they have been getting a little bit experimental with the loot pool. I mean, they actually brought back something which was, you know, super unexpected. They brought back the Monarch pistol. I'll touch a lot more on it later, but that is super cool, you know, just to get one of those items, you know, just back like that. And I've been having a blast using it. I mean, I'm gonna say, in terms of recent updates, you know, the surf map doesn't feel too special, especially as we're literally on the chapter and season the map is themed around. But even though it doesn't feel incredibly special, it doesn't feel too different, it is still a pretty decent map. I mean, the top half of the map is kind of irrelevant. I don't really know why that's there, but it's pretty cool, I guess. I think the biggest issue with Reload, you know, how it's just kind of felt stale recently, is because it was released as a sort of antidote to the bullet drop gameplay during Chapter 5. Once Hitscan returned in Chapter 6, the mod lost half of its entire appeal to the broader community. That is potentially the largest contributing factor to the mod feeling stale. It just needs to do something different to warrant its own existence, and the Morphite weapons were a step in the right direction. But of course, I can't just keep talking about it. What do I think should be added into the game? I mean, I'm telling it needs to do something different, but what should it do? And I think the limited time special features were really cool. I think they should do more of those. Obviously, you had the floor is lava for Adventure. You had fast moving storms, kind of like Blitz, the original version, not the Chapter 6 version on Oasis. And then on Slurp Rush, you kind of had, I don't really get this one, but every single body of water kind of just had like slurp effects, and the storm did extra damage. Listen, these features were super super cool. I mean, if they could bring these back, or they could change them up, that would be insane. I mean, maybe even have power hours, you know, like Battle Royale has been having for a while. But then you'd have the modifiers instead of, you know, just like adding a couple new items or changing how the game plays. Imagine like a low gravity reload power hour, you know, like OG had for no reason back in season 5. Or for like an hour, I don't know, maybe every sniper always does headshot damage. Or even like crossover power hours, you know, like the Simpsons items have come back, you know, like you get the Krusty Blaster back in reload. I mean, stuff like this specifically made to fit the reload gameplay loop is great, and we need more of it. Of course, we have loot pool refreshes. Don't just keep bringing back the same 20 weapons. This is what reload was made for. Like I said, the Monarch pistol is a step in the right direction, but we need more interesting weapons. You know, stuff like the alien weapons from Chapter 2 Season 7, the modular weapons from Chapter 5, or the primal weapons from Chapter 2 Season 6. I mean, maybe not that last one, but I mean, adding back items that we haven't seen for years, you know, items that are locked to their own seasons. They can't ever be brought back into Battle Royale because they're just too specific to a certain season. Bringing those items back to Reload would be super fun. Reload needs to get back to its roots. It was designed from the ground up to be the mode, which random stuff just gets re-added, and you go, oh my god, the Jeebus 3-burst Zapper from Chapter 12 Season 16? That's what the mode needs, to be quite frank, and I would love to see that happen more and more and more. So, what would my ideal Reload update be? Obviously, I've been talking about what the game needs to change, what the game needs to do going forward. So, what do I think should happen? What do I think should change? And honestly, my biggest point on my wish list would be a Chapter 3 Reload map. Now, this would have, you know, like points of interest like Cody Crossroads, you know, the actual one this time, and Sleepy Sound, alongside stuff like the Rave Cave, or, you know what, even Greasy Grove. Chapter 3 had some incredibly strong points of interest. You could literally pick from any single season across that entire chapter. Maybe not the final one, maybe not Chapter 3 Season 4, but literally everything else would be absolutely perfect to take from. I mean, even the reality tree, I mean, imagine that on a Reload map. That'd be really cool to see. I'd also want a brand new loot pool. And to be honest, I want like wacky strong items. I want them to be in like the base loot pool instead of like locked away at a 0.00001% chance of dropping from a rare chest when the sun happens to be at the highest point of the sky and somebody's having a crap on a random toilet somewhere in Ohio. I don't know. No, I want like a wacky loot pool. I want insane stuff like a slightly buffed grapple glove or like, I don't know, shockwave hammers or the Hop Rock Fury assault rifle. Just stuff like that just in the loot pool, you know, as standard. I mean, I'd also love the Reload update to boost the chance to get mythics and add literally every single mythic and exotic in the game to the loot pool at once. I mean, imagine being able to pull the Lawless Rift Launcher and the Hop Rock Jewelries in the same game. I mean, that would be so much fun, and honestly, I would love to see that. And honestly, you know what else I want to see? I think it's time for Reload to finally commit to adding some vehicles around the map. And honestly, something as weak as a baller would fit perfectly into the gameplay loop. You know, it's good for movement. You can actually do some pretty insane movement with this item. You can do some really funny strategies. I mean, which would fit perfectly into how people play Reload. It's the goofy game, you know? It's the game where people goof off. And another plus for the vehicle is the fact that it can't attack and is super easy to destroy. I mean, especially in the modern game, you know, maybe Season 8 it was hard for people to shoot at the ballers, you know, they didn't have the best aim in the world. But now, this vehicle would be perfectly balanced to fit into the gameplay loop. I mean, I don't think something like cars or mechs or anything like that, you know, none of those should ever be added to Reload. They completely ruin how the game feels. But something as simple as ballers would fit this map perfectly, especially a Chapter 3 map, you know, they would just fit the vibe entirely. And I'd also want an entirely refreshed loot pool. You know, I'm going to ban every single item we've had. You know, I'm sick of the same 20 items rotating, you know, like the Ranger Assault Rifle, the regular Assault Rifle, the Pump Shotgun. None of those, they've all banned. I mean, I'd love to see items we haven't seen for years, you know, like the Drum Shotgun or the Modular Warforged Assault Rifle. You know, everything and anything. I mean, I want a loot pool with the MK Alpha or even something like the Sideways Sight. I mean, there is so much potential in a mod like Reload, and I just feel like the fact that they're not using it to its full potential anymore is a big reason why the game feels stale. It used to be so ambitious. It used to bring so many cool things back. I mean, even though it's definitely a bit overused at this point, everyone was freaking out when the Ranger got added back to Reload. I mean, everyone was freaking out when the Hammer got re-added. I mean, even the Thunder Pump, the Havoc Pump, you know, the Gatekeeper, all of these weapons felt incredibly cool to see back in Reload because they had been gone for years. Listen, making a loot pool that, you know, benefits sweat, makes them go, oh yay, old reliable, that's all well and good, but it just doesn't feel as fun. That's not the point of the mod. The point of the mod isn't to like add back the same guns everybody's always whining for. It's to add back the guns nobody was whining for and nobody was giving a second thought. I mean, to take weaker weapons and put them in a loot pool which they're no longer being overshadowed by an absolute beast of a weapon. I mean, that would just be my perfect reload update, just seeing stuff we haven't seen for years, seeing stuff we wouldn't even think of seeing again, you know? I think one of the biggest mistakes with modern Fortnite Reload is the fact that they're just trying to make it a mini battle royale, and that's never what Reload was supposed to be. Reload was meant to be Reload. It was meant to be its whole different thing. It was meant to be a new way to play the game, and I definitely think, you know, turning it back into its own mod, stopping it from just being, you know, like a mini version of Fortnite Battle Royale would save the mode. It's a really, really, really good mod. It just needs to live up to its own potential. It has so much more it can do. There is so much more you can do with a mod like this. And I hope, you know, by some miracle, if there's any Epic employees listening, please just change up some of these things. Alright, so yeah, literally, I've got nothing else to say. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. You know, we're on the path to 1,000 subscribers. Any help is appreciated, and it means the world to me. This is my first forte into a new style of content. I'm gonna file it under commentary content. It is commentary content. It's separate to my video essays. If you guys want to see more stuff like this from me, make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you didn't. I also want to say, if you have anything else to add to this discussion, you know, you have any other features you would like to see added to Reload, make sure to, again, leave a comment down below. I will read every single one of them. Hey, but you know what? At the end of the day, all you guys really have to do is take care of yourself, drink some water, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye!